So does anticipation stop you? Well, clearly not, because we're still talking. Just saying. So what's your tip number one on this?
Well, this is a very interesting one because you know how we just did our awareness check-in.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that is the first tip is awareness. How much are you aware? So you know how sometimes we can put something off. Like let's say you have something on your to-do list and you put it off. You like delay it or say to yourself,
procrastinate it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. I'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But this is why I'm saying the tip number one is awareness. Is how come you're putting it off? Is it that you anticipate it's going to be a really hard thing to do?
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Well, here we are here today.
Here we are.
Deliciously motivated mindset conversation podcast / whatever you want to call it with Debz and Moira.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. And today's topic, does anticipation stop you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
we're cracking.
Be good.
I know. I've got my physical symptoms are all shooting up. My hairies on my arms and everything. I'm like, what does this mean?
This is anticipation.
Yeah, there's big things coming. I'm probably gonna lose my voice, and Moira's gonna have to take over. Anyway, if you've listened to us before, thank you for coming back. If you haven't, thank you for
welcome.
Yeah, jumping in. This is pretty cool. We do a little check-in at the start of our at our podcast, and at halftime show, and then at the very end we just do another check-in, and it's just about just doing an assessment tool to see where you're at emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. Oh yeah, hang on. PEMS. Your physical, emotional,
mental, spiritual. Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And so it's just about checking in where you are with your number, writing it down, getting your pen and paper, and we hit the topic, and we give you tips, and at the end you see where you're at and see if we can shift you. That's our intention. Yep. If we don't, that's okay, because we will.
Then maybe you need to listen to another episode.
Yeah, because there's plenty of them. There's 100 and something. Yeah, that's the one. Yep. So, does anticipation stop you? Moira, what emotional number, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual number are you sitting at now?
I'm going to put myself at a 2.5. For a couple of reasons. I've got a wee scratchy throat, and I've actually, so you're saying about your goosebumps, so I've got a little bit of a chill happening. Just kind of like, ooh.
Oh, you said that, and I got that again.
Oh, see.
Oh.
So that's me at 2.5 with that one.
I'm going to say a 1.5 because I'm feel okay. I just had it then, but I'm also I'm just I'm sitting in the uncertainty here.
Yes,
like it's
that's what it is. It's uncertain. Like,
wonder. Well, yeah, wonder what's going to happen today. So this is where we are. Moira's a 2.5. I'm a 1.5. Jot it down. Or don't jot ours down, or unless you want to, and then we move on. That's it.
Yep.
Once and done. That's where we're at. So Moira, I've got the shiveries things.
That's
all
funny.
Over me. So does anticipation stop you? Well, clearly not, because we're still talking. Just saying. So what's your tip number one on on this?
Well, this is a very interesting one because you know how we just did our awareness check-in.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that is the first tip is awareness. How much are you aware? So you know how sometimes we can put something off. Like let's say you have something on your to-do list and you put it off. You like delay it or say to yourself,
procrastinate it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. I'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But this is why I'm saying the tip number one is awareness. Is how come you're putting it off? Is it that you anticipate it's going to be a really hard thing to do? Or are you anticipating that it'll be so fast that you'll miss something? Or right? So it's about having an awareness, because anticipation can be a good thing, like anticipating that it's all going to go great, or anticipating that it's all going to fall apart.
Well, when I when I Googled what anticipation meant, it actually gave me a really weird scenario. But one of the things, and now as I look at it, it says her eyes sparkled with anticipation. I'm like, so what does that mean?
So I mean, that's a sparkly, like kind of woohoo excitement type thing, right?
Yeah,
Sparkle.
yeah. And but then the other one goes, the introduction in a composition of part of a chord which is about to follow in full. Music. No. But it's actually saying, oh, I know what's coming next. I know what's coming next. That's what I read out of this. The introduction of a composition of part of a chord,
yes,
which is about to follow in full. But her eyes sparkle with anticipation. It's like, oh, what's next? So it's I'm going to say my next tip is wonderness. It's like a story.
I like that.
That's a new word I have probably never used in my life.
Nope. I don't know that that's actually a word, but it is now. It is now.
Totally is. It's
wonderness.
Wonderness. But wonderness. It's that. Oh, but it's a nice. It's not a. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen next. It's a nice, flowy, sparkly, glitter bomb. Oh, wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder.
I like that. But this is an interesting piece around, does anticipation stop you? So it makes me wonder that
wonderness.
Wonder, because I'm in wonderness with this.
Yeah.
Is if we follow this along, my next tip is around worthiness. Are you worthy of that sparkly wonderness kind of excitement lighting you up? Because I know that sometimes people, oh no, I have to work hard at this, or I have to struggle at it, or this is going to be really hard, or I have to keep working harder and harder to get there. And so anticipation, if we're waiting for that, it can actually be a stop or a block, right?
Well, and I'm going to go back to that tip, but I'm just going to put the next tip as reframing. I'm just going to put that because that's going to entangle from this tip. But going back to that worthiness is reminding yourself, I live here in my heart. I make the decisions here. I've got this. And it's that whole bigger picture of me.
Yes. Bigger picture of me, and that I am a multi-dimensional being that kind of plays a little bit over here, like in the spiritual realm, and plays a little bit over here as a physical body, and plays a little bit over here in the feeling realm. So it's kind of like there is a real flowy kind of, it is such a sense of worth. I am worthy of everything. Right?
Well, it's not forced. I guess that it's unforced, if I can say it. Oh, that's probably
flowing. Unforced is flowing. Yeah.
Deborah's making up
that's
all
a nice
words.
reframe. That was a nice reframe.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, reframe there. But it's flowing. And we know when, look, everything actually flows in life. Everything flows at life when you're ready to see it as flowing. And we know the old saying, it's on the way, not in the way. And when you see things as in the way, that's when it's not flowing. But it is that. I love that worthiness. I love that just brings in a different level. But see how quick that could be just to reframe?
Yeah.
Where it is, well, that's a reframe. I'm like, oh, it is too. Yeah, you're right. Bang, done.
Yeah.
Once and done, move on. Yeah. We know, like, when does anticipation stop you? The answer is going to be yes. There's going to be yeses and there's going to be no's in here. Like that's a short answer, and that's the end of the podcast. Not quite. There's going to be yeses and no's, but it's okay either way. Like I think that's that reminder that it's okay.
Right.
Whether it's stopped you for how long, or whether it's not. It's okay. It's all on the way. Yeah, it's on the way.
Yeah, I like that. That's one of my favorite ones that you often say, that everything is on the way, not in the way. It's something that I was just kind of dropping down into is, you know how if something occurs to you, my tip here is about action. So if anticipation has stopped you, is it because you're too much into sitting on the couch and going, oh, I get to do this, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, this is going to feel so great, and get all into the play mode of it, entertaining it, getting all into visualizing it without saying, oh, wait a minute, I have to stand up and open the door and take some steps towards that thing that I'm anticipating, that thing that's going to, right? Because we are co-creators. We get to anticipate greatness and awesomeness and auspiciousness. Absolutely. But if we sit there just going, okay, I'm going to sit and contemplate it, then it doesn't happen, because we need to get into action. So that's my tip, is taking action, even if it's the tiniest baby step in the direction of your dream or your auspicious vision that you're anticipating this glorious, awesome outcome. Right?
I'm just sitting in, I've just stopped at the word action.
Uh-oh.
Just stopped at the action and gone, you're right. You're so right. You're so right. And it's okay either way.
It is okay either way, because sometimes, and that's why I like to clarify when I say take steps, and I always like to put that in, but yes, but it can be the tiniest tap your toe type step. It doesn't have to be gigantic leaps.
I talk about having a beach towel. Often we want to hide under that beach towel, and we're like, it's a big beach towel, and beach towels are bigger than a bathroom towel. They're big towels, and you hide under that. Okay, it's time to just peek out a little bit and move that beach towel to a bath towel. Move that bath towel to a smaller towel, to a hand towel, to a face cloth, to just an eye patch, just one eye patch.
There you go.
Just one of those cotton pad eye patches, and then it goes. But it is that, it's taking steps, but taking steps that are right for you when you are ready, not when someone else is forcing you to do it. Come on, you've got to do this. Come on, you've got to do this. You know, and I guess that's having the right people around you. You know, I talk about the F team, having an F team around me, you know, a fabulous team.
I was going to say, who's the F team? Okay, fabulous team. I like that.
You are part of my F team. You are part of my F team. And an F team is...
I'm honored.
Yeah, the F team is a fabulous team. They're fierce. They know where they're going. They're going to call you on your stuff. They're going to level you up. They're going to make you get real. They're going to slap you when you need to be slapped, which is not encouraging slapping. But, they're going to say, hey, come on, Deb, get real. Is this really you? Yeah. They're going to support you. They're going to challenge you. So have that F team around, because they're the important ones. And I know I'm going to go back to 2020. 2020, knocked a few people around.
That was kind of discombobulating.
Yeah, definitely. And that was the physical, but you've still got a phone call. You've still got a podcast. You've still got, videos. We've still got ways to connect with people. And so just keep that F team around and be okay with letting some of your F team go. Fire them. Yeah.
Well, it was the year of the pivot. I think that's what we'll call that. It was the year of the pivot.
The year of the pivot, and it still keeps going. Whoop! Here's another pivot.
Yep,
Here's another
yep.
pivot. Yeah, that's it.
How about this one?
Yeah. But the F team, your fabulous team, your fierce team, your ferocious team, whatever you want to call it, whatever. It's important to have those people around, but it's also important to let them go as well. Move on. Don't go, oh, I've known this person for 20 years. And I've got to keep them here. No, don't.
No, there's no got to. Actually, that would be a piece of intel. If I've got to do something, then it's kind of wait, reassess.
Yeah, got to. That's part of that reframe as well. Yeah, so get that F team around you, the ones that you can brainstorm things, and jump on. Well, I mean, you clearly got the F team here because you've got Moira and Debz. But jump on a private call with us, or reach out and not just listen to the podcast. Jump into our groups and be part of it, because that F team is all around. I don't take clients on that I don't gel with. I'm not going to take somebody on who's a certain energy or a certain whatever, I'm not going to do that to them, and I'm not going to do that to myself, and I'm not going to do that to both our energies around us.
Definitely, because it's actually a disservice to them and us if we right, because it has to be, because if they don't gel with me, then they're likely missing the person that they are going to gel with. Like,
I would. So build your F team.
Love that. I have
that's important for your anticipation.
Definitely is. Something else that's important for your anticipation, and I wrote this down because actually it was interesting, because I did a session earlier and pulled a card, and the card that came was divine timing.
Oh, of course.
And so
listen to me. Of course.
I thought, well, hey, this is part of this conversation, is that sometimes anticipation can stop us because it's not the divine right time. And so there's this to me, that brings in trust, right? So I can anticipate things going a certain way, but if I'm feeling like, but I need to slow things down or go in a slightly different direction, then it's about trusting the flow, that I can feel that. So it's about creating enough space and time to remember I'm a co-creator. You're a co-creator. So it's like, we can put something in motion, set an intention, visualize an outcome, and then surrender it to doing the pieces that we're called to do, and know that the other parts are taken care of, right?
Yeah. Well, and when you're talking about trust, I wrote 3 things down, which is your physical, your head, and your intuition. If we had trust as one tree, there's 3 branches from that. Is your physical will always tell you what to trust and what not to trust. In fact, we did a podcast, I think it was last week, or we did a podcast recently around that, and listening to your body's intuition and listening to those signs and symptoms that come up. Trust that your head will lie to you. And that's okay, but your heart won't lie. Like, it's having that. And then there's the intuition. Your intuition is part of your anticipation, but it's a surface. I would say your anticipation is a surface level. Your intuition is it's a knowing. There's no mistaking. That's it. Whereas your anticipation has a little branches from it. Oh, what about the branches from it?
That? Because anticipation can be oh my God, and this is great, and this is wonderful, and look at this, and so there's a lot of verbiage in there, as opposed to your intuition is just going to say yes. That's it. So it's to come into that heart guidance, that intuitively led wisdom within you. It doesn't chatter. It's always love-based. It always makes you feel like you're enveloped in this big nurturing bubble, but it doesn't go, and then this, and then this, and then this, and da-da-da-da-da-da. It doesn't do that.
Well, it's interesting. A yawn came on there. That's it's an odd little thing. Well, I actually just wrote down pom-pom versus solid.
Okay.
Like, what? And so when I wrote that, that's my tip, pom-pom versus solid. And so when you're anticipation, you can be on those pom-pom moments. You can be on that, oh, this is happening, and oh yeah, and you're jumping on other people's enthusiasm.
To being a cheerleader. Being that sparkly cheerleader.
La 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 la. Oh, I want a piece of that, and I'm gonna bring in Tony Robbins here. Tony Robbins he gives you great tips. I went to one of his events, but it's pom-pom. The whole time it's pom-pom, and you're up in this and you're doing this, and you're up in this and you're doing this. And when you get into bed, and your mind's racing, but and those pom-pom moments do bring the other level of the higher the pom-pom, the lower the other side. Right. So if you're hyping yourself up to a 9 of excitement and yay pom-pom moments, you're going to get a 9 at the other side of down. So the pom-pom versus the solid, when I say solid, I think of lots of different things, but the solid is that intuition. It's real. There's no forced elevation. There's no forced deflation. It's just solid. This is it. That's that once and done I talk about. It's so your anticipation is depending if you're in the pom-pom or you're in the solid. Like solid, I don't question, and that's part of that intuition. Your heart versus your head.
It's like you just know. Yeah.
It's a knowing, isn't it? Your elation versus your.
So I really
solid,
love.
It's just a given.
I really love that you brought this in because, as you know, I do human design readings and use that a lot with my clients. And what you just spoke of with this pom-pom versus solid is that this pom-pom, this elation, could be like from a human design. If you've ever had your chart done, you know that there's 9 energy centers, and the centers that are yours defined, that's what's going to give you the solid feel. So
yes, of
right,
course.
so
you're talking and I'm like, hang on, she's told me this before.
Yeah. So it's like it's dependable. It's dependable thing. Whereas the ones that waver, it's where you are open or undefined, meaning that you absorb the elation, the pom-pom, the woohoo from outside of you. And so something that I think about Tony Robbins in particular is Tony Robbins has a defined will center. And there's not many people have that. It's actually one that's not, I know I don't have it. And so if I'm in this presence of somebody who has it, then I'll be like, absolutely, yes, let's do this. But then when I'm out of the presence of that, I don't have it anymore. Yeah. So that's when you go the ups and downs. And it's when you're on your own, when you've detached from people around you, that's when you get into the solid. Yes. Yeah,
you've taken your own energy bubble back, your own worthiness, really.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
Yourself, you've taken it back to you. What do I require right here? What do I desire? What
feels right to me? Just me. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually that's beautiful about the anticipation, because let's think about it too. Think about being. And I know you've been in conferences, where they get you to stand up and woohoo, rah, 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 and pump your hands and all this.
Usually by that stage, I've just taken my shoes off, and then they get to stand up, and I'm like, oh, God, do I have to put my shoes back on? And by the time I put my shoes back on, we're all sitting back down again. Yeah, I know that one. Yeah. I'm not the best. I can definitely. So that's where we talk about introvert and extrovert. You become an extrovert when you're around a whole lot of other extroverts.
Yes.
Or you retreat if you're not. And you're like, this is not for me. I can't be part of this. This is too much. Da da da.
Yeah.
Beep beep beep. Get out of the conversation. But I do like your wording when you said what feels right to me, not for me, not for me. What feels right for me? What feels right to me?
Yeah. And well, my favorite question. My favorite question that I've said this to you. How does this make me feel about me?
Yeah.
Right. So if I'm in that conference that's saying everybody get up and woohoo, 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 how does it make me feel about me? Well, it makes me feel weird because I don't wired this way.
Yeah.
Right. So but we want to, because we can go along with it and feel the energy and flow with it, but we're not going to stay there. So it's like the anticipation of, does it light you up? Does it weigh you down? and be at peace with whatever's. How does it make me feel about me? It makes me feel in touch with me. That's an important part too, right?
Well, I think, how does that make me feel about me? And I think the other tip I'm actually going to add is don't avoid.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it's telling you. So it goes back to, honoring yourself. You've asked yourself, how does it make me feel about me? Oh, it makes me feel rubbish. Okay, great. Now I'm going to sit in a rubbish space all day. No.
no. It's just a guidance system there.
Yeah, it's just a little assessment. So how does it make me feel about me? And then just go, okay, don't avoid it. Go, okay, well, I don't have time to deal with it right now. I'm going to put this off, whatever it is. But don't avoid it. Honor yourself. Put in your diary, put some time aside and do it. And it's okay to move it from your diary, but don't go moving it 10 times in the next 3 days, because you're basically saying, I'm not worthy of this. Like, honor it. Don't avoid it. Just go, okay, let me look at it. And it's not as heavy as what we think. Like, life can be easy. I don't know if you can say easy. Life can be easy. We jump into this overthinking. Oh, I don't know when I'm going to find that time. I have to sit down in my office and do that. I've got a client at the moment, and so cute. She's like, oh, I have to do face-to-face. And then something happened and she couldn't do face-to-face. So then she had to do online video. I have to do online video, and I have to do this. And I'm like, okay, I hear you. Let's see if we can break that pattern. She's like, no, I just like online. I like to take lots and lots of notes, every single word that person says. And I'm going, oh my God, I just drive my head in. And then the other day, just yesterday, she messaged me and she said, you wouldn't believe what happened. I was out on a friend's farm and a client messaged me, and I had to take the phone call, and I had no pen, no paper. And she's sitting on the back of a 4-wheel drive, like a motorbike,
right,
consulting with someone. And I just roared my head off. And I said, and how was it? She said it was the easiest consultation I've ever done.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
And so this is like, this just exactly sums the whole thing up. It's like, oh, I need to do in person. No, I don't. Oh, I need to do video. And it's just when actually, and she said it was the easiest because she just listened to her intuition. She listened to the words she needed to hear. She wasn't writing and focusing on that pen and paper, and I need the surroundings around me. Like, so don't avoid it. It doesn't have to be, don't overcomplicate it. Just go, okay, jump in once and done. But yeah, it was beautiful. I love that
story.
At her.
I love that story. And it is because, and that's the thing.
And she also wasn't pretty. She was on the farm. She had cow poo on her boots, and so you imagine all these little things that, because we do overthink. We do. And to think she's just sitting there just with her headphones on and talking. I just giggled. I just laughed and went, you asked for this. But what's beautiful is that it was like a proving to her that all of the other anticipatory things that she'd set up weren't true. No, all the things Deborah kept telling her to do, she wasn't listening, because I obviously wasn't getting through to her. And so she needed something bigger for her to go, yeah, you're right, I can actually do this. This is easy. This isn't, so don't avoid, don't put it off, because you're not honoring your soul. The more you put things off, you're discombobulating your soul.
Yep. I like it. It reminds me of a time where I did a course. It was like a 3-day workshop on public speaking. Oh, yeah. And after day 1, we had been sent home with some homework to do. This is an in-person thing. So we'd been sent home with some work to do, and we had to come back with two presentations to give to the class. And so I love teaching, and I kind of go to the safe zone that I'll just teach. That's what I did. I was going to teach them EFT, and I was going to teach something else. Can't remember. So I get up there and I, follow all the formula and format. But the funny thing is that the teacher knew me quite well and knew some of my backstory of what my stuck story is. And so he's like,
Yeah.
Moira, how come you're not talking about that story? And I'm like, I can do that. People don't want to hear that story. And so he was kind of like, he kept kind of jibing at me until I gave in and did it. But what was really fascinating to me was when I went, I was totally unprepared for this, and I just went into the story. And you should have seen every person in that class, because there's kind of get people like staring and looking around themselves. Everybody put their pen and papers down and sat there with like holding their just like holding their jaws so they didn't. Yep, and listening to every single word of what I said. And that was the feedback that the teacher said to me, is like, see, people do want to hear what you have to say.
Well, I mean, we know giving tips are great, but I know for me, if I'm listening to you give me a tip, it's a story that makes me go, oh, that resonates with me.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm not a big story. I don't know if I'm a big storyteller or not. Actually, would think I'm not. Now I'm gonna
you
start
are.
looking at my stories.
We both tell stories.
Yeah,
to entertain and to
actually for
illustrate.
To land.
It's to illustrate a point.
Yeah, for you to go this. Yeah. Well, I did. I just told a story about her on a motorbike.
Yeah, you did.
You can imagine it. But that to me will land more than me telling you, don't overthink it. Like,
Absolutely.
don't overthink it, and then tell you that story. You're going to go, oh, I get that.
Yep.
I get that.
Well, because you see, our subconscious mind deals in images. So if I say to you, don't overthink it, it's kind of, what does that look like? But now everybody's got that cool visual of the picture that you just painted with the story that you told. And so it's going to sink and it's going to hold on. People are going to get it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, story, yeah. So summing all that up was, don't overthink it. Don't avoid it. Don't overthink it. Just once and done, move on, lock it in, remind yourself you're worthy.
Yes.
You like that. And would you prefer a story, everybody, or would you prefer me just go, there you go, once and done, do that, don't overthink it, lock it in your diary, self-worth, done, next, move on, what's next?
We're finished. Podcast over. Bye.
That's it, done. That's it, done. Yeah.
So,
next tip.
The other thing, and this is
story.
So the last one that I just wrote down was to not avoid what comes up, but it's to also tell yourself the truth. How do you feel? How do you feel, and not get into, oh gosh, I can't say that out loud because of da da da, and go into another story. So here's the thing: we're talking about story. There's storytelling in the way that we're talking about it. Then there's the stories that we tell ourselves in our head that stop us doing something or getting into action or getting into wonderness. I love that word. I'm going to keep that now.
Wonderness. I love it too. Is there not a word called that? Yeah. Wonderness. Yeah. Stories. Well, stories can immobilize us and can propel us forward.
Yes. Yeah.
But also just remembering it's just a story. Like, it's a label. It's just a story. It's just like summing it up as a label. They were mean to me. Okay, right, great. It's just a story.
Yeah. So what are you going to do with it? So if it's just a story, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to say, okay, thanks for the experience and let it go? Or are you going to let it ruminate and weight you down? Which I'm really holding the intention that the answer is no.
And it's okay to ruminate, but don't leave it for too long. Don't leave it for too long. If you're lying on the couch from something you've said or done 3 days later and you've had no sleep and everything, then
it's time to call for support.
Time to reach out to Moira and Debz, or jump on a podcast, and you can listen to all the podcasts you want, but really you probably need a kick. I mean, you probably need some guidance from Moira or Debz. It is just a story. That's literally it. Just a story. I'm going to go into comparison. And I know, I think it was last week. I'm just going to go into, you can't compare apples to oranges. I just learned this new saying.
This is Deb's flavor of the month.
It is. It blooming is. Comparison is Okay, just acknowledge it, see what they're doing, that's fine. But it can take you down. So you can't actually compare apples to oranges. Yes, they're fruit. Yes, they both come on a tree.
And you might like them both.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's okay, because apples provide value and other things they don't. I know if I eat apples, I get big fat lips. I get the juices of the acids and I have big fat lips. So I have to actually cut my apples up into, I can't just bite into an apple. Like, it's a process. I have to cut it up into little bite-sized pieces and put it delicately in my mouth. And if you know me, I'm not as delicate as, you can hear it in my voice already. So biting an apple is easier for me. But then there's oranges, and I also now have to cut those up because I go to peel them and I get them under my nails and they squirt everywhere, and so it's easier.
I was going to say squirt in your enemy eye.
Yeah, that's the one. That's one. So comparison. Be aware of but they managed to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, but they did it and they had an amazing, successful story. Why not me? Or they did it and it didn't work for them. So why would I want to do that? So just be aware of those comparison stories, I guess we could probably put in there. Those, but comparison's just apples and oranges.
So I just did a little add-on to that one, is to be you. That's a Dr. Seussism. Be you. I can't remember the rest of it.
Well, there's that song on
Be You, everybody else is taken.
Yeah, there's that song on what do you call it? And he's in the jungle. I want to be like
Jungle
you.
Book. Yeah.
That one. I want to be like you. No, don't. Just be you. Yeah, that
be
I want to be
you.
like you is a catchy thing. Just be you.
Mm-hmm.
I love that comparison. Just own. And so ownership, which I call own your shit. Ownership, just be you. I love that.
Definitely. And I like, so when you say ownership, I also like to say authorship. Like, you're writing the script of your life story. So
you're the captain of your boat.
Author, yes, you're the boss of you.
Yes,
definitely. And so that's the whole thing, is that anticipation we're like really unpacking this whole thing of the anticipation of things going well, things not going so well, getting into that sparkle, getting into, how does it make me feel? Does it make me feel? What's that? Wonderness, yes. So dear listeners, we trust that you like that word as much as we do. And so how does this make me feel? It makes me feel like I'm in a state of wonderness.
Yeah.
And all is well.
I reckon there's
Oh, you're trying to look it up to see if it really is a word? Because I don't believe it is.
It is a word in my... Oh, there is.
Oh, is it really?
There is it in the Urban Dictionary, although when I look that up, I go Urban Dictionary. I don't know if I can read it aloud, because Urban Dictionary is one of those. Have you ever been on Urban Dictionary?
Yes, I have.
It's lethal.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
She's not sharing it.
No, it's a tour-like pointing acknowledgement of unnotable worthy objects. No, I don't like what you've written, wonderness.
We're going to give our own.
That was 2013.
Yeah.
Amy,
well, what do they know?
In December 2013, 10 years on, we've evolved. Wonderness is the new word. Yep.
So I'm aware, I have anticipation that at one point we're going to have to wrap this conversation up.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
And so with that anticipatory awareness, we're going to encourage you to get your pen and paper, pencil and paper, note-taking devices. We're going to recap the tips that we went through. And I'll kick us off so that Deb gets the next one. So the first tip I said was awareness. Being aware of what is that anticipation. Is it something that's going, oh, this is exciting, get the sparkle, or is it anticipation of, well, I'm not quite sure? And so just having an awareness, what's going on for you with there.
I'm going to add into that one, surprise, and that's celebrate. And that's, and I talk about when you have a little glitch and we go, oh,
right, yeah, I like this.
Like, so celebrate. Oh, this is something to look at. Oh, this is something to work on. Oh, this is something.
Look at what I get to do. Look at what I get to do instead of what I have to do. Yeah. I like
Totally.
that. Yeah.
So it is that. So it's an AC, awareness and celebrate. Yeah.
Put the AC on. I like that.
Yeah. Because I've had that. Yeah, actually, that's
Deb's got
perfect
the
for
AC
me
on.
today because I've battled that this morning. That's the one. Number 2. Oh, and
This
Amy on
nude.
whatever Urban Dictionary, you're wrong. Wonderness.
Love
Just
it.
wonderness. And I know I've talked about this before. What if it did work out?
Yeah.
Instead of, oh, what if it didn't work out? What if it did? And that's that wonderness. That's it. It just feels wonderful.
It does.
Actually, there you go.
It really
It
does.
just feels, wonderness. Wonderness. I can't even
Wonderness.
pronounce it.
Like it.
Wonderness. Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
The next tip I have is worthiness. You are worthy of magic, of power, of auspiciousness. I love that word, by the way. P.S.
Yeah.
But it's to flow with it and not feel like I'm anticipating things not being in flow or being
That's when I use the
interrupted.
word unforced, because I'm like, oh,
That's
she
right.
says interrupted, and I interrupt her, and I wrote unforced, and then I went flowing and underlined. Yeah.
Yes, because that was the reframe.
Yeah, the reframe. Yeah.
But because sometimes people can get into, the anticipation of something amazing, but then if you've got a wee bit of a lowered self-worth, you might be going, oh, there's no point in doing it. And so it could stop you because you're saying, well, I'm not special enough or powerful enough or competent enough or whatever enough to do it, right? So you are worthy. If it occurred to you, you are worthy of it.
I love that. If it occurred to you, you're worthy of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, the next tip I had was reframe, and it's just literally reframing things, reframing your stories, reframing your past, reframing whatever jumps into your mind. And Moira mentioned the word got to. I've got to do this. And I there's different languages. I should do this, meaning someone else is telling you should do this, or I ought to do this,
or I have to do this.
Yeah, I've got to do this. And it comes from a desperation place instead of, oh, I'd love to do this, or I have a desire to do this. And you're
I get to. Yeah,
I choose to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your whole energy, your shoulders are back. You have a different. You have a wonderness. You have a little difference. You have a little spark in your step.
Yeah.
When you're reframing those things.
Yep. Love it. Love it. I think it's really important. My next one is to take action, because where I was coming from with that one is that sometimes anticipation can kind of just freeze us into in being in the visualization or the dreamy stage, or I'm just going to sit here and bask in the sparkly wonderness of this idea. But so my thing was just that you need to be in motion toward your dreams, in the direction of your dream and your intentions. So even if it's the tiniest baby step moving forward. Right? Mm-hmm.
Well, you can write all these tips down and you may not want to do them. That's okay, but you've actually written them down. So you've set the intention. So it's all on the way, not in the way.
Yes.
That's our famous thing. The next tip I have, famous team, our F team. The F team, the fabulous
team.
Fierce, ferocious,
fearless,
phenomenal with an F.
Phenomenal.
Whatever it is, have those people around who support you and challenge you. Don't just get rid of all the challenges around you, because they do make you regroup, rethink, step up.
Yep.
And be okay with firing some people in the F team, but have the F team around. Like Moira and I are part of your F team people. Definitely. Whether you like it or not. And if you want to fire us, that's fine. But we'll still be in your thoughts. But have that, have the F team around, because they're the ones who level us and
fire you up.
Yeah, fire you up. Put us in wonderness.
Yes. Yeah.
So going to be my new word. Going to be my new word.
Yep. That'll be our new tagline.
Yeah. We could do a workshop on that. Let's do a workshop on wonderness. Actually,
let's do that. I have to make me note. I'm writing that down.
We'll add that one down. I like that. Actually, I love that. Oh, that's not a podcast. That is
That's
totally
a
worthy.
workshop. We'll do a workshop. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we'll add that too. Oh, I love that idea. Okay, Carrie, go back to.
Okay,
Oh, and then
okay.
of course our next one's actually perfect.
Yeah, divine timing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've talked about wonderness how often, and now I just go, let's do a workshop on that. Like,
And then, and so that was divinely timed. So
divine timing.
that divine timing, and that was to trust that we're in the right place at the right time, having the right words, wonderness.
Yeah. Yeah, trust, 100%. Next one is pom-pom versus solid.
Yeah.
The pom-pom, the elation, the highs, the lows, that there versus solid, and that is part of that divine timing, that trust. And what feels right to me, not for me, what feels right to me. Because when we say for me, what feels right for me, we're really looking and digging, but what feels right to me, you already know. You already know. Yeah.
How does this make you feel about me? And then the thing I really liked about that pom-pom versus solid is that always know that if you are not a pom-pom type person, that's okay to feel it, but it's the solid is the dependable. It's like, yep, that's part of you. And so really looking at telling yourself the truth, and that then kind of stepping into my favorite one here is, how does it make me feel about me? And what we're looking for is, in the depths of you, and it's when we come into that, how does it make me feel about me? We're tapping into our heart's wisdom, our inner wisdom. Very important part.
Yeah. I'm just having a moment of, okay, perfect.
Perfect moment.
I go on to a story. Who's got the next one?
You.
Oh,
because I was saying, yes, don't avoid. So that was the perfect
timing, divine timing.
Divine timing, perfect tip. But it was also the perfect tip to follow on from the, how does this make me feel? So don't avoid what comes up. If it makes me feel like a schmuck, then don't avoid what comes up. I need to deal with that, right?
Get it before it slaps you again.
Definitely. My next one was stories. Being aware that stories, and we were kind of riffing on that we both like to use story to illustrate a point, to make it land, to make it make more sense to you. But always be aware that stories can immobilize or inspire you. So don't listen to an outdated past story if it's immobilizing you.
If it's just a story.
Just a story.
And that goes back to that tip we had earlier, was about reframe. It's just a story. It's just a story once and done. Yeah.
And I don't have to believe it. Just because it's a story that's looping around in your head, you don't have to believe it.
No. Well, we've got a few of those, haven't we?
Yeah.
And the last tip I had was, actually it's probably the second to last anyway, is comparison. It's my favorite new one, is apples versus oranges. Comparison. Watch your comparison, because apples are different to oranges. Apples affect me differently to oranges.
Yes, they do.
And you often don't know you've got a cut in your fingernails until you're orange.
Until you peel an
orange. Apples, you don't.
True that. That's so true.
And then you're like, how did I miss that? Yeah, the comparison. But I didn't have
any other tips, but the last one that I put onto that one was to remind you to just be you.
Yeah.
Right.
And ownership. You're the boss of
You're the boss of you. Ownership and authorship for your life story, for your life, your life experience. If it's not suiting you,
of your own ship.
Yep. The driver of your bus. Yes. Yes, definitely. And so, does anticipation stop you? Sometimes it will. Sometimes it creates the most marvelous experience. So we trust that you got what you needed, and that you got some beautiful, sparkly wonderness from our conversation today.
Wonderness. I love that word. Wonderness.
Yes. So, dear listeners, we'd love to hear back from you. We'd love to hear from you about what number were you at when we started? We did our scale of 0 to 10 and checking in. And as we did, we're going to check in on ourselves now. I started at a 2.5 and Deb was at a 1.5.
No, I'm a 1.5 and then I've moved to a 0. That's it done.
Yes. Well, with that wonderness, I definitely went to a 0 also. I thought that was pretty awesome. So we'd love to hear where you were to begin with and where you are now. We'd also love to know, what was your favorite tip? And do you find that anticipation stops you in some way that we didn't cover today? So
it's definitely going to make me think when things come up now. But I'm 100% a 0. It feels beautiful.
Feels beautiful. Yeah. Zen complete. Awesome. So, dear listeners, if you liked this, your next action step, action was in here, anticipating the action. The next thing to do is to talk about this. Like Deb just said, allow some of these tips to kind of be absorbed so that you can watch yourself. Be the observer and the observed. How do you deal with anticipation? What does it mean to you? How does it feel to you? So start having that inner dialogue, that inner awareness, and share it. Share your insights. Share them with us. Share them with people that get you. Share them with people that you want to inspire. Share this conversation and share your insights and wisdom in this nature also. That's us wrapping this.
Thank you.
This beautiful, wonderful wonderness conversation, all about wonderness.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Moira. Thank you, listeners. I appreciate today. That was been lovely.
Yeah, I loved this conversation. I am very grateful to you. Thank you for a great conversation. Thank you, listeners.
Yeah.
We'll be back with you again next week. Bye.
Perfect. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.